56% more shootings took place last year against law enforcement.
Yeah.
There is increased aggression against law enforcement.
Sure.
It is a problem.
Yes.
If you are Attorney General, you would work with federal law enforcement fairly closely, I would imagine, in some ways. Former President Trump said the FBI and Department of Justice are destroying our community. Do you believe that's a helpful message when you talk about respecting law enforcement? And are you willing to denounce it?
This is a silly question because you're trying to make that statement out to him saying all law enforcement. What he's talking about is the top officials who work out of Washington, D.C. He's talking about the top levels of the FBI, the Department of Justice, who are political appointees by this administration.
He didn't say that. He just said the FBI and Department of Justice.
You know what he meant.
Are destroying our community.
Can you repeat the first part of that? I missed that.
Yeah, a lot of people of color feel like they're
A lot of people of
targeted.
color. A lot of people of color. How many people of color have you talked to about that?
I mean, if you look at surveys,
Which surveys? I'm happy to look at those stats because I will tell you this: that I talk to people of color. I talk to all Arizonans. They're all concerned about the crime. Just because your skin isn't the same color as yours doesn't mean you want your kids to be walking down the street in an unsafe neighborhood. Every Arizonan wants safety and security in their neighborhood. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. And if you look at stats, you will look and see that police do not target people of color. That is a lie that's been perpetuated by the left and then spread and disseminated and respread in the media.
I believe that's an opinion a lot of people of color have.
I don't. I think you guys find one or two people, 3 or 4, and they're activists oftentimes, and then you spread that narrative. Go into a neighborhood and ask the people in neighborhoods that are minority neighborhoods, do you want fewer police? Do you want to defund the police? They will look at you like you are the craziest person on the planet. And I hope people watching this realize when they're hearing the tone of the question and what the content of the question is. When you're hearing it from the liberal-run news, you always hear that they're aiming for their agenda, their narrative. You heard it in that last reporter's question. It started off with talking about defund the police, and then it went into an attack trying to push against President Trump. Started off with a question about how our officers might be aiming and really trying to hurt our minority communities. You hear their agenda in their question, and I ask people, when you're out there listening to media, you're trying to discern who's legit and who isn't. Listen to the narrative they're pushing in their question. It's all right there. It's real easy to see.